What's going on, guys? Joel Robinson here. We have finished scripting our fireworks show for 2021, so we're now ready for 4th of July firework preparations. So every year around this time, I post several videos showing the process I take in order to get ready for my 4th of July fireworks show. This year's going to be no different, and I expect maybe 3 to 5 of these videos over the coming days. So I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It normally gets pretty positive feedback in the past, so if you do, let me know in the comments below. So this year's no different. We're doing a pyro musical. It's going to be about 8 minutes long. I'm using 244 cues, so just slightly longer than last year. Unfortunately, I ran out of time because I was going to do 10 minutes, and I just simply ran out of time. I scripted the entire show in 3 days. Now, that does not mean that I had no idea what I wanted to do. It just means sitting down and actually designing the show took me 3 days. The music I've been listening to all year long, getting those ideas in your head of what you want to do and kind of visualizing how the show's going to play out. However, sitting down and actually designing the show took about 3 days. So I have a ton of reports here of varying kinds. The first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go through and make sure we have all of the fireworks we planned on using. Since I was short on comments this year, I actually had a ton of mines, not a lot of comments. Did not realize that initially, so I wasn't able to do some of the comet chases I wanted to do. I did some mine chases and whatnot, but it's actually going to make it easier for me this year because of that, because I'm not doing all those intricate angles. So I tried to substitute with more sliced cakes or more single shot 60mm shots instead, so hopefully it still comes out pretty good. Also, because I was short on effects, we kind of mix and match effects together, which normally don't do. Normally it's, one solid effect for that segment. I got a little bit creative and I started mixing things together. I know some people might not like it. I think it's going to turn out okay. You guys will see what I'm talking about when the actual show fires. Anyways, let's dive into it. Let's start getting this stuff ready. We'll see how it goes. All right, we got this beautiful list here. It tells us the size, part number, what the effect is, how many of the effect, price even, of said effect. So all I'm doing now is just I'm going to go through, for example, Strobing Willow. I have 3 of them, which are right here in front of me. Everything here in front of me we're using. So I'm going to go through and just check off everything on this list to make sure that we actually have it all, because if we don't have something, we're going to have to make a substitute, and I'd want to do that now before I start putting cue labels on or get further into my, my process here. Alright, so this is why I always check everything. So you see here we have the multicolor peony. It's listed at 40 seconds. That's what I scripted it with. And then red, white, and blue, 30 seconds. Now if we look at the multicolor here, it's listed at 30. And if we look at my red, white, and blue, it's listed at 35 and 40. Because what happens is from year to year, they might change the durations a little bit. So at some point in time, these durations were correct, and now I have 3 different cakes that are different durations. So I have to go back and look at my script to see exactly how I scripted it at these points. I think the red, white, and blue will be okay. I mostly want to make sure that one doesn't go over, 10 seconds, for example, into the next song, or it ends 10 seconds early and there's a dark sky. If there's some crossover with one cake starting and the other cake ending, it'll be perfectly fine. But anyway, that's exactly why I pull all the inventory to make sure I have exactly what I planned on. So one of the changes out of China recently was cases like this have to have these particle boards in them now, right? So there's just these thin pieces of boards. You can see it right in the top of this one. They also have these straps on here. I don't know why or what classifies the case as requiring that, but anyway, it's just one of those new things that China was doing. So we have a handful of these boards. Now, these are actually fantastic, and I'm going to use them for this to mount strobes, flames, and gerbs to. So I'm going to use these in some of my fronts in my show. So I'm going to repurpose them as much as I can. I only have a handful, so I probably won't do any cakes. However, like the Nishiki ones, these are quite large. If you want to do a few 200-gram cakes, you probably could. But I'm going to use them for strobes and things like that instead of using some of my plywood. Okay, this is funny. So I said you can see it through the packaging. It was actually a piece of cardboard. It says open at this end, and those cakes are upside down. I was like, what? Made sure it was correct. Right side up. Those are actually upside down. This one, however, is correctly the right way, and you'll see the board right here on top. Just thought it was funny because I literally said you could see it through the packaging. Open it up, and it's just a piece of cardboard. So I assume there's a board at the very bottom there. I'll go get that out. Alright, so we're just pulling out comments and mines. I already pulled out a bunch. Got to pull out a bunch more. Let's time lapse it. Alright, so this is exactly why we go over inventory. So, Brocade Mine, I had 4 scripted, I only found 3. I had 9 Turbillions with Purple Go-Getters scripted, I only found 5. That seems like that could be a mistake, so I'll go double check that. So basically what that means is I'm going to have to substitute some items here. So, if I can't find that Brocade Mine, I'll probably pull one, substitute for something else. For the 4 Turbillions that I'm missing, I do have these multicolored Go-Getters, so I might just use those if I need them. But anyways, besides those 2 inventory shortages, everything else is in stock, and then I'll check the duration on those other 3 cakes, those multicolored peonies. So anyways, everything you see here will be used in our show. So right now, we basically just pulled inventory, made sure everything was here. Tomorrow, we're going to go through and start labeling, separating by position, hopefully poking some cakes and more. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you tomorrow.